Happy Sunday, 6 days out. Today has been a great day, all things considered. Yesterday was fat loading day number 1, and that seems to be off to some success. Woke up this morning at 175.4, which is a low body weight of prep. So that is obviously exactly what we wanted. No digestive issues with the almond butter like I had mentioned yesterday. So that is obviously a huge win as well. I know that I have a stable, digestible fat source that I can rely on when/if that I need it. So that is great. I also took my PM body weight last night, and it looked like I lost about 3.5 pounds from last night's body weight to my body weight this morning. So we are going to take my weight again tonight, and then we'll see what it is tomorrow morning, and then we'll see how much that is, and we'll see if it's close to that 3.5 pound, mark. Well, that's basically what we're doing, is we're going to see if we can get some sort of consistency or gauge of how much fluid that I'm dropping overnight. So we will be able to kind of test that data in the morning, I guess. Because everything went really well with the fat loading trial yesterday, then obviously I'm just going to repeat that today. So yesterday I added 60 grams of almond butter. Today I'm going to add 80. So yesterday I added 20 grams to 3 of my meals. Today I'm going to add 20 grams to 4 of the meals. So yesterday I finished at about 85 grams of fat, and today I'm going to be at 97. So let's just say 100 grams of fat. Both days are about 220 grams of carbs, 280 grams of protein. Today was lower D, which was the final real workout of prep. I have not yet decided whether I will go do a pump session. More than likely sometime around Wednesday or Thursday I will, at least for my upper body. Whether I do some touch-up work on my legs or not is yet to be determined. But as far as like real training, today was the final real session of prep. I thought it was very fitting that I ended on the stiff leg and hack squat session, and that's just purely coincidental. I didn't plan for that to happen, but I thought that was really fitting because the first workout of my prep was the stiff leg and the hack squat session. I mentioned before prep even started that I wanted to kind of stick with my stiff leg deadlifts throughout the entire prep, and with today's workout I was intentionally not trying to hit failure, and I was basically leaving like 1 rep in reserve and not attempting any reps that I thought would be 50-50s. Maybe I get them, maybe I don't. And I still ended up progressing the stiff leg. I left a rep in the tank on the hack squat, but had I gone for that rep, I definitely would have gotten it, and then that would have been a 1 rep progression. I got 7 last time. I got 7 today with 1 rep in reserve is basically what I'm trying to say. So the only thing that was not good today was the abductor. I have noticed as my body weight has gone down that the abductor has gotten much more difficult for me to progress, and it's actually dropping really quickly. And I got like 4 reps with this weight last week, and today I only got 1, and I was like, even if I do get the second rep, like it would just be such a grind. I was like, there's just no point in me even doing this. So that is due for a full reset post-show. If I even keep it in, man, I don't want to get too sidetracked on this, but I have a couple things in my program that I'm looking to change and adjust, and I want to do that like in the off season, and that'll be, as the off season kind of starts, that'll be a good time to kind of bring in those new movements. And one of the things that I'm kind of contemplating is whether or not I even want or need the abductor in there. And then if I do keep it in there, do I want to continue doing it where I'm like more leaned forward into the machine how I'm doing it now, or do I want to do it where I'm sitting a little bit more upright, like how I do the adductor? So I've got a lot of thoughts. I've got a list in my phone of some of the exercises I want to bring in, swap out, things I want to change to the split and everything. But peak week and, you know, all of that is the absolute worst time to do that. I don't want to bring in anything new this week. You know, let's say I brought in, you know, I did the abductor differently, and then I wake up tomorrow and my glutes are like super sore. That completely defeats the whole purpose of like dropping fatigue and getting ready for the stage. So peak week is the worst time to bring in a new or novel exercise. I mentioned this, I think, in one of the vlogs earlier, but I have a couple exercises that are like bothering my elbow and I want to get them replaced, but this would just really be a terrible time for me to bring in some new exercises there. So there's a couple of exercises that I've kind of been like gritting my teeth doing like this last week, just purely because I know that I'm not gonna it's not a novel stimulus for me at this point, so I'm not going to get super sore and inflamed from it, but my elbow in particular is really bothering me right now, so I need to get that taken care of in the off season. But we've completed prep. We've completed the training portion of prep, which is a huge relief. Emotional day. I cried a lot today. I don't know. I haven't caught any of my tears on video yet, but I've been pretty emotional kind of like the past couple days, especially when this time comes around and you realize that realistically it's over, you know, all the hard work is done, and at this point you're kind of just chilling and refining things into the show. It is kind of, there's just a lot of emotions that kind of go through your head as you look back on the prep, and then you look back on the subsequent off season. I gotta show this to you guys. I showed this to Carissa earlier. When I was filling out my logbook today for the final session of prep, this right here is obviously the final workout of prep. But look at this logbook here. The first workout that is in this logbook, this is right here on the inside cover. I was 13 weeks out of my first show. This was the first workout in here is August 5th of 2023. So this is almost 3 years of training. So this is the first workout in here is 13 weeks out from my first show. So it obviously has all of the workouts that led into the actual show day. And then it has every single workout from show day of my first prep up until this current prep to the very end. So this logbook, I keep all of my logbooks when I fill them out, but I feel like this logbook in particular, I don't know, I feel like I may want to do something special with it, because there's a lot of, as lame and cliche as this sounds, there is a lot of work. There's a lot of evolving, just as a coach and as a bodybuilder here. When I started, I was doing push-pull legs. There's a little bit of a stint in here where I was doing upper lower, and then I literally just saw the page where I wrote in here, right here, all of this that you guys are seeing, like this thick part, there's nothing in here yet. There's a couple pages I gotta get filled out. So all of this is full body training, and then this little bit here, this is like push-pull legs with a little bit of like upper lower in here, but this is all full body training, the off season between show number 1 and show number 2. So this is cool as fuck, and I'm just excited, guys. That's pretty much all that I got for today. Water is going to be at 8 liters. That's going to be very standard. I'm going to try my hardest, at least for the next couple days, to keep water set at 8 liters, keep my sodium set at 1/4 teaspoon per meal. That won't be changing. And then really the only thing that's going to be fluctuating up and down is going to be the carbohydrates and the fats based off of body weight for now. There may be a time as we come closer where I may have to limit my water depending on what my body weight is doing. I don't know, but I'm trying to keep as many variables static as possible so that the variables that I am changing up and down, I can get a very clear reading. When I have this many carbs and this many fats, this is what happens. If I'm also throwing in more or less water, more or less sodium on top of that, that just like adds so many things that are going on, and it's really, really hard to read. So we're really just kind of trying to make this as simple and as clear cut as we can right now. And, you know, I feel good about the way that things are going. I'm going to wrap this one up and then enjoy the rest of our Sunday night. It's kind of a weird feeling heading into the next week. I'm going to be doing all of my normal work. I feel like that's going to be an important part of my keeping my mental sanity this week, for lack of a better phrase, is staying on top of my work schedule and everything. Another thing, I don't want to get into another side tangent, but in my first prep, I took the week of my show off of work because I was literally like so fatigued and so like stressed and everything that I was like, I don't want to do check-ins. And now I'm like, you know, I gotta stay in that routine. I feel like that's going to be an important part for me of like staying calm and staying level-headed. So it's a weird feeling heading into the week knowing that I have a full normal week of work, but there's really no training. And if it is training, it's going to be some fluffy pump bullshit. If I'm being honest with you guys, I'm kind of dreading it. Like not really super excited to do it if it even does happen, but it serves a purpose. So anyways, we'll wrap this one up and we'll talk tomorrow.